Hello, my name's Sara Edmonds and this is my testimony part 2. I ended my testimony part 1 with becoming a Christian at the age of 11. Now I'm 61 and 50 years of following Jesus has been amazing. This is my story. I started secondary school in an all-girls comprehensive in London. I was a bit aloof, I think, as I had only 3 brothers to relate to at home. I struggled with an all-female environment. I was bullied repeatedly and managed to stand up to one girl eventually, leaving her with yoghurt all over her head on our last meeting. I also prevented another girl being hurt by a group who were trying to wrap nettles around her legs because she was a redhead. I didn't really like secondary school. Much of the teaching styles in the 70s were impersonal and didactic. There was a CU at the school which I enjoyed and became a haven in the week. The teachers threw board rubbers at students who were talking and laughed if you got the wrong answer. I had 2 good friends, one in my teaching group and one who lived near me. Both were popular types, fashionable and always on the lookout for lads to go out with. I was influenced by them, for sure, sharing smokes and her half bottle of sherry on a Friday night at one of their homes. I remember arriving home saying, "Mum, I don't feel so well. I'm very tired and I think I need to go to bed." There were parties without adult supervision where my friends and I got up to all sorts, but somehow I was always on the edge, never engaging in the excessive behaviour. The only way that I can explain this is that the Holy Spirit in me was keeping me and protecting me. I had a sense that I was the same as my friend in some ways, but that I was also different. There was a great tragedy when I was 14. One of our friends died after solvent abuse. His parents owned the laundrette and a few local kids had started to go there and sniff the dry cleaning fluid. After his death, the parties and all those things stopped. The positive influences on my life were my mother, my Bible class, church and girls' brigade. I gave up Bible class after being told that I was like Jezebel because I wore makeup. I also gave up girls' brigade as the uniform was less appealing to my body shape as it was changing and I had to wear uniform at school also each day. It was all a bit too restrictive for my rebellious teenage heart. My mum says that I left home at 14 and returned at 18, but she's just expressing how difficult rearing me during these years was. Although I made threats to leave home, I never did. Home was secure and safe and full of love. I went out with boys on motorbikes, worked in shops and spent the money on platforms and 2-tone coats and skirts. At the same time, I was attending Crusaders and being involved in Crusader camps. Again, the Lord kept me from excesses. I had a rule in my head that if a boy would not come to church with me after 2 weeks, then I would dump him. Went through a few lads that way. They were not going out with me to get to know Jesus. Then I fell in love with a Christian Crusader leader. I was completely infatuated with him, but he was totally uninterested in me. I was heartbroken when I realised this. It was actually my working class background that prevented him from taking me seriously, but I was unaware of that at the time. It was during that long hot summer in 1976 that I decided that if God wanted me to be a single missionary in a foreign place, I would be completely willing. Romance took a back step as I prepared for my baptism. This was not easy to do. I realised at the time that although I knew God had forgiven my sins, all of them, I held in my spirit an unforgiving heart towards my father. After all, he was an unfaithful man, reckless with family money, and had deserted me at a young age. I was only 16, but I realised that there was a lack of integrity in my life. I said I was a Christian, but was not forgiving my father. At this stage, he'd been dead 5 years. How do you forgive a dead man? So I wrote my dead dad a letter, apologising for my lack of forgiveness and sending him a message of love and forgiveness. What I realised then and know now is the most freeing discovery I've ever made. We are all mess-ups, broken, and no amount of being better than another person can change that. But in Jesus, we can be forgiven, clean, accepted, restored. I knew then that if I met Dad in heaven one day, which I hope I shall, there would only be love and acceptance between us, no bitterness. Only God can change you or me, and I thank God He is the strong one who can do this. So I was baptised with people singing, happy day, when Jesus washed my sins away. I knew this had happened when I was only 11 years old, but it was when I was baptised that I knew the effect of God's work in my heart. He had done what I can never do, make me new from the inside out. So I was pledged to God publicly, life on the line. Rebellious teen, knocked by the love of God in Jesus. Psalm 23 verse 6 says in the Message, your beauty and love chase after me every day of my life, and He has kept this promise to me. I want to share a song by Jen Johnson, and the repeating line is, your goodness is running after me, taken from that verse. I hope you enjoy it.